Okay, you guys, so we are going to make stuffed chicken with spinach and mashed potatoes and cornbread. So right now in that green bowl, I have cream cheese, one whole block. I have a handful of spinach, a little bit of Parmesan and mozzarella cheese, and a little bit of minced garlic and a little Italian seasoning. Make sure that you have your cream cheese out and you let it soften so it's easy to mix. As you can see, your girl was kind of struggling, so make sure you do that. And you just want to make sure you get all of your ingredients mixed really well. And that's what I'm working on. It's just taking me a minute. But yeah, we're going to mix it up. Okay, I almost have it the way I want. I'm a person, I don't measure things, you guys. I just eyeball it. My mom and my grandma taught me how to cook, and that's how they cook. So, I would always say you can always add more, but you can't add less. So start off small and gradually add more. Now, I am using 3 chicken breasts. I'm adding a little Miss Dash. I believe that's Chipotle seasoning. And I'll say maybe that's like a teaspoon. Not quite sure. Then that's some garlic powder. I love garlic powder. Add as much as you want. There might be a tablespoon. I think you should start off with a tablespoon though if you are not sure. That was some Creole seasoning, a little bit of onion powder. Then I'm coming through with the Italian seasoning, okay? You want your food to taste good. You want it to be flavorful. You want to cook with love. Okay, then I'm adding that Sazon. You can find that on the Hispanic aisle. I love this. I love it for chicken. The color it gives, the flavor, it's amazing. Some garlic salt. And then some black pepper. Okay, then I'm going to mix that up with my hands. As you can see, if you don't want to touch it, you can use a spoon or a spatula, but I definitely prefer using my hands because I can get those seasonings really, really in between and in the crevice of the chicken. Now I'm going to slice the chicken like a butterfly. That's the way you want it to look, like 2 wings on each side, as you can see. But you want to cut not completely through the chicken breast. You want to stop at the end of the other side of the breast so that, of course, the filling won't come out. So again, I'm slicing the chicken breast from the top to the bottom. And if you mess up a little bit, it's okay. You can use toothpicks, and yeah, you just want it to be like a nice little pocket in the chicken breast. And again, and you make sure you're using a sharp knife. Now, I'm adding my cream cheese, spinach, and when I added a little sour cream to that mixture as well. Sorry about that. But you want to add that to your chicken breast. I added about a tablespoon and a half. It just depends, like I said, on how deep the pocket of your chicken breast is. But just know that a little bit will come out as you're cooking. It is okay. It's not a problem. Then I'm going to close that up. You want to make sure it's nice and tight, as tight as possible, so that the filling won't come out as much, so I'm adding my toothpicks. And just FYI, if I was you, I would use toothpicks that did not have color, because the color in the toothpick definitely bled into my chicken. I still ate it. It was still delicious. But yeah, just letting y'all know. So I'm adding toothpicks all along the line of that chicken breast where I cut it, just to try and make sure it stays as closed as possible. And I'm adding more of the filling to the second chicken breast. And I definitely had some of the cream cheese mixture left over, and I figured I would. So what I did before I even started filling up my chicken breast, I took some of that filling out that I knew I wouldn't use, so I wouldn't cross-contaminate or anything, and I put it in a Ziploc bag and I put it in the freezer. You can use this in And if you decide to make this recipe again, you can use it if you want to add it maybe like to a sauce that you're making, like a cream-based sauce. This will be really good. You can add it to like some bell peppers. Like if you just want a good snack, you can cut your bell peppers, add that filling in there. That'll be really good. So yeah, it's all different things you can do, you know, with it. If you want to have it as a spread to a sandwich, yeah, it's a lot you can do with it. So definitely make sure you freeze it and save some for later. And I'm just closing up that chicken breast. Like I said, try to close it as tight as possible, because the filling is definitely going to come out. Now, for the cornbread, I kept it simple with some Jiffy. Use whatever cornbread mix is your favorite. My favorite is Jiffy if I'm not making homemade cornbread. I added an egg. If you like your cornbread really sweet, you can add some honey in there. Of course, you want to add your milk. I used 1 egg, and I want to say like half. I ended up using half of that quart of milk. Now I'm just laying that in my cast iron skillet. I added some oil at the bottom. I had it on about 5, so like medium heat. And I let it cook on one side for about 9 minutes, and then the other side for about 8 minutes. And then I set it in my oven on 350 for about 10 more minutes, just because but my chicken was it was still good. It was very moist, and I just wanted to make sure it was, done. For my spinach, I added a little bit of olive oil, a little onion powder, a little bit of, what's next, Vanessa? You keep shaking it. Here, come on now. A little Italian seasoning. Then we're going to add, if I can get that onion powder to come out, that Italian seasoning to come out, your girl is struggling. A little garlic salt. Yes, it's going to be so good. So good. And I have 4 potatoes that I covered in water, red potatoes that I diced up. I halved the potato and then a little garlic powder in that spinach. I cut the potatoes in half, then I cut that half into another half. So I cut them into a fourth size chunks, and I boiled it in some water. I'm just putting a little butter on that cornbread. It was in the oven on 350 for about 20 minutes. But once it's brown, it's ready. So now, you can see the size. Like I just chopped them up in fourths, if that makes sense. I added like not quite a half a stick of butter, but yeah. I have some garlic salt that I'm adding to my potatoes. And I'm going to also add some, no, I don't want that. Okay, yeah, onion powder, because everything needs to have flavor, okay? And I like to boil my potatoes in chicken stock. That makes it even better, but I didn't have any, so yeah. Some black pepper. And make sure you wash your potatoes very well. I washed my meat and everything before I started cooking. But yeah, make sure you wash your potatoes really well, especially when you're keeping the skin on. That's some garlic powder I'm adding to that. Then we're going to add some milk. And some sour cream. And I added 2 tablespoons of sour cream. As you can see, it makes it really nice and creamy. And then I'm going to use my potato masher. Well, I'm not there yet. That's just me sauteing my spinach some, letting it wilt or cook down. And, hey, it was a whole bag of spinach, but as everyone knows, when you start out, spinach is like, overflowing in the... Okay, so it cut out, but this is the finished result, you guys. I hope you like.